Welcome to Life Hacks Beyond Convention with Dee and Sonia.
Probably a good thing and a bad thing. They have a lot of data about us, don't they?
Yeah, they
Hey,
do.
you should try this one on ChatGPT. Why don't you ask it to give you a personality profile based on everything it knows about you? So I did
Oh,
that. I know, right? And it was really interesting because I deliberately don't give it certain information. Like I've never given it information about my family status. I never do. I've never given it anything that would give it any information about what my family status is.
mm-hmm.
However, because of the type of work I do, it knows I'm a teacher, even though I've never told it that
Yeah,
specifically. It just
yeah.
knows, and it knows I like publishing books.
Mm.
Though we have specifically talked about some of those things, but also to do with because I do all sorts of things on there. So it was really interesting. And when it spat it out, I just thought, holy moly, this robot, apart from all this algorithm, the
Yeah.
only part that that it was incorrect was the stuff that I deliberately kept from it.
Ah, okay. Wow.
Yeah. Everything else, I just thought, ooh,
Have
yeah. So
you?
that's a fun thing for you to have a
Yeah.
try at.
Oh, you know I'm going
See
to
what
do
it
that.
spits out. I know.
Have you done different personality profiling things?
Well, I've probably the main one is the
Myers-Briggs.
Myers-Briggs. Yeah, I went silent. I've loosely did the disc,
Yeah,
but I can't remember because I think, are you a disc practitioner?
I can. Yeah, I have been trained in
Yeah,
this. Yeah,
one
but
of
they
the one.
changed how they license it. Another bloke bought it out. So I did it with one person and then Tony Robbins had a system, but that's changed now. So I've done a number of different things for myself over.
Yeah, well, I can't really remember that. One of the teachers I used to work with, he was a disc practitioner. So,
Yeah.
and he was really passionate about disc. So, we talked about that a lot. And he did some of that stuff with me and, we talked through it. But I quite like is it the five big personalities?
Is that
Is that what Jordan
Jordan
Peterson?
Peterson? Yes, I think I've done.
Yeah, I'd really like
Like
to
that.
do that one. I haven't actually done that, but it's not really expensive.
Yeah.
He's got an online thing, and I've often thought, so I've had a look at the model and the theory behind
Mm.
it, and I
Yeah.
quite like it. So I'm
Mm.
thinking I wouldn't mind actually going, but I've never personally gone through that test.
Yeah. Mm.
Um, but that is something I'd like to do. I I guess I'm a little bit careful with personality tests. Now, for myself, I understand that I use it as a tool. What I've found is if you're not very careful with students, um, they get onto this concept and then they use that as an excuse to get stuck in a box.
Okay.
Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yes, I
Oh,
do.
that's just
Yes.
me. That's just my personality. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, yeah, and that's actually not a good thing.
No.
Do you know
So
what I
how do
mean?
we, yeah, how do we teach people to go, okay, that's what you're presenting now? Because all of this is just four quadrants or five in the case of
Mm,
Peterson, but
mm,
really, and I think they break it down to, is it 16 in the Myers-Briggs in the end?
mm,
Or,
mm.
yeah,
Yep,
16.
yep.
So, but we have the capacity to change. We have the capacity to learn. And the idea is to become balanced, which means that you're central to all four. So,
I
yeah.
know. Instead of it being an excuse, so because I'm very, very introvert in a lot of my personality traits.
Mm.
However, and a lot of people don't know that. They think I'm an extrovert. And
Oh,
why is that? Because I communicate so well.
yep.
If I go into a meeting, I rarely am I the one hidden in the back corner.
Mhm.
I mostly interact. It does depend on where I am
Yeah.
because if I'm in a bad place in my own brain, then sometimes I don't interact very much. But most people just think I'm an extrovert.
Yep.
And I think, well, why is that? Well, okay, because I understand what introversion means and I don't use it as an excuse. And
Mm.
then, you know, have poor social habits.
No,
Like
exactly.
I learned,
You
I learned to communicate.
you understand you're an introvert, and after this stretch of this meeting or this event, you are going to have to go home and be introverted to process it all. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So it doesn't mean that's,
And
yeah,
well, and you also can understand, like, if you're going through huge change or trauma in your life, you realize, oh, the reason I don't want to go out and socialize is because I'm still processing. I need this time alone to be able to get through this,
yeah,
and that's okay.
yeah,
However, we can also use that as an excuse, can't we?
yeah,
For
exactly.
or
Mm.
yeah, and I always remember, yeah, like one person that I know, it's just like, oh, that's just what I'm like. That's just me. And I think, well, yeah, it is, but can't you tell that you appear to be having a lot of communication difficulties with other people?
Mm.
And it's like, because they didn't interpret your communication style correctly. Oh, that's just me. That's just how I do it. And I think, well, guess what? You're the common denominator here.
Yeah,
Maybe instead of using that as an excuse for having problems communicating with other people around
yeah,
you, make some changes.
yeah. It's a choice
Yeah. And
to stay the same. And
yeah.
sometimes it's just a lazy choice to go. And basically, what they're saying is, I can't be bothered accommodating everybody else.
Well, I think it's more, I mean, yes, but I think it's more than that. I think society is telling us that it's all about us and that we need to make sure we're happy and everybody needs to accept who we are. And it's like,
Yeah,
well, at the end of the day, if we want a cohesive society, no, we need to
yeah,
learn to get on.
yes,
And there
yeah,
is an element, of course, we need to accept where other people are at. But the
yes,
truth is, if you don't make any changes because I've got to accept where you're at, well,
mm,
that means I've got to make all the changes. So you
yeah,
can't have that. Like we've all got to try and, I
yes,
don't know, interrelate and yeah.
yeah, that's right. But lots of people will choose not to. And
They
I guess
do.
my challenges with that is sometimes um, it's um, choosing to not is still a choice. It's still in their
Mm,
ballpark,
mm,
not in
mm,
anybody else's. So,
mm,
yeah,
mm. Yeah, absolutely. I always remember that's one I learned that quite a long time ago. I remember somebody or reading it. So it was back in the day when I used to read, books rather than watch YouTube
yeah.
videos. and, and yeah, I remember that. Like, not making a choice is making a choice.
Yes,
And I'd
yes,
never thought of that concept before. I was fairly young when I come across that. And it was
yeah,
just like this light bulb,
yeah,
boom. It's
exactly.
like, oh, yeah. Like I did by default, you've made a choice by not
Yes,
making a choice.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, when I studied hypnotherapy, that's how they put it. You're still choosing to not, and yeah.
Mm,
So, and then they
mm.
talk a lot about cause and effect. Are you at cause or effect? Are you causing your life to happen the way you want to, or are you just allowing everything to happen to you, which is a choice to allow it. So, yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well,
yeah,
that's right. And by not making the decision, that's what we're doing. We're allowing all of these other things
yeah,
to impact us
yeah.
and whatever the outcomes of that are.
Hit the subscribe button below if you want to follow Life Hacks Beyond Convention.